this place has a gift shop.
There are a lot of fountains here. Do you think the locals threw...
I should be live on the internet. I should be live. I believe I'm live on the internet. How is everybody doing? My webcam isn't the topmost thing. There we go. And I can put my webcam in here because I'm not playing games today. Hold on. You can probably see my chaos maps behind me. There we go. See a bit of my bed as well. My room's a mess, okay. I haven't tidied up today. I've been working on things. How is everyone doing? I disagree, Fold, about that. So, we're here for one reason, and one reason only. Jason Blundell has confirmed that he will not be working essentially with Treyarch anymore. I just need to tweet this out. Essentially, there was a post. I should really lift it up. But this stream's just going to be talking about the news. I was going to do a video on it, but I don't feel like a video is going to be easy to do on this. So a stream is just going to have to do. Treyarch, if I can get the image, has posted an image out, which I will get on screen for you in a second. Boom. Can we make this smaller? Because that's bigger than my stream. There we go, that'll do. I know it's not perfectly centered. Yell at me. After 30 fantastic action-packed years, I am moving on from Treyarch. During my time in the studio, I've been privileged to work on a variety of projects, wearing many hats along the way. Of course, he used to be the campaign lead, all the way from World at War to BO3? Yeah, World at War to BO3, I believe. Could be wrong on that. With my time on the Zombies team, I find it to be quite special. Of course, he took over for Zombies during the Reese, Mob of the Dead, Origins, and then onwards. With him also helping with... So just making sure my stream's okay. Then I believe he helped in the development of the BO1 maps in some way during World at War. I know he's mentioned that they made a... what did they make again? I can't remember. Did they say they made a theatre map? A Paris map which got turned to Moon. And I think they started on call. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it did say they started development on a few other maps. Where are we at now? It's a team comprised of some of the most creative and talented developers in the industry, which essentially everything you see in Zombies isn't just Jason Blundell. Everyone's got to remember that. This team is people coming up with ideas for the story as well. Of course, the story is fleshly and mainly written out by Craig Houston and Jason Blundell. Many of whom you never see because they're behind the scenes, which is correct. There's people behind the scenes who are working on stuff, shaping the direction of each experience. Clearly, I'd be remiss if I'd personally found the group that continues to make it all work for the Zombies community. Your passion, enthusiasm, and frankly, your craziness has been a continued source of inspiration. The beauty of Zombies is that it has always been about the interaction between us as developers and one of the most passionate player communities on the planet. These are the memories I would cherish for a lifetime. The team at Treyarch has been nothing short of awesome, thank you. And thank you to the fans for giving me the opportunity to bring in life to the undead in so many ways. The honour has been all mine. That link to that tweet will be at the bottom. So if you want to reread it, or if you want me to put it back up, I will do. Smack and like, dude, thanks, Stubbed. Clacky, man, this is something. So I'm going to talk about this now, is that Jason Blundell is really creative, and if you like it or not, I would say it's more of a waste in the zombies community. I mean that in a good way. You know, like, wait, what? Zombies is very restricting, and we saw the Chaos story. We tried to go with the mythology theme, and I love Chaos story. I personally love the Chaos story. I prefer it over Aether story. I'm just going to put that out there. But you can see Jason Blundell, when he wants to make a story, he can make a story. But Zombies always has a limitation. I still believe Jason Blundell is working with Activision, because Activision have said nothing. And they said that he was working on other projects for Activision, which I believe they're probably going to be working on... Jason Blundell's probably working a different game for Activision right now, where he isn't restricted as much. Jason Blundell's, I still believe, in a good place, essentially, is what I mean. He's a really, really talented man, and he can lead a team. So what we've got to think about now is essentially what he's done for the Zombies community. He's been here for a while. His first map was Derice, and if you just look at Sheena Numa to Derice, that's a big jump. Now, of course, new mind at the lead, you are going to come up with new ideas. For example, latest things to think about BO3 to IW? BO3 to IW, yeah. Look at the differences that was there, and look at all the innovations IW did. Same from IW to World War II. Different men at the helm come up with new ideas. And Exo Zombies as well from BO2. This time isn't like a time to be like all down the Zombies community. I can see people on Twitter, if I go over to Twitter, there's people like thinking about his replacement already, which is like a yikes. No, yeah, I understand that, especially from a content creator point of view. You want that kind of in mind. But also, if I scroll through, there's a lot of thank yous as well, a lot of retweets on this, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Now, let's just look at the other example of this that has happened. So everyone knows about Jimmy Zielinski to Jason Blundell. Now, the proper transition was during BO2. Jimmy Zielinski worked on the Victor's Crew maps, so Transit, Die Rise, I nearly forgot, Transit, Nuketown, Die Rise, and Buried, with Jason Blundell working on Mob of the Dead and Origins. I think that was a transition period where Jimmy Zielinski, I don't know if this is being said, but I think like James Zielinski knew that he was leaving and then Jason Blundell was going to take over from the team. So essentially, that was kind of us seeing the crossover. Now, this time is very different. We don't know the change. I would assume that this change is happening is that Jason Blundell knew at the end of BO4 that he was leaving soon, and they've already worked out like his replacement, what's going to happen. When you're passionate about a project, which Jason Blundell is 100% passionate about zombies and the community, no one can deny that. He isn't going to give him a horrible transition. They've probably already been doing this transition period for a while. One big hint to me for that was that Craig Houston started taking over more of the selling of the product, essentially, especially in Alpha Omega and Tag der Toten. But Jason Blundell was still there in that transition period, 100%. I know Activision, posted out a post about, hey, Jason Blundell's working on other products as well, which I have no doubt about. I bet he was. So yeah, I think Jason Blundell right now is working on things which are less restricting, where he can create his own universe, own story. Because zombies gets restricting after a while, because how are you going to fit zombies in here? Chaos Stories was one of the, story-wise, probably one of the most uniquely different versions of it. Now, Walking Dead and all that, and Aether Story kind of follow that same format of either it's a virus or something that's caused it, and then they just act like zombies. Whereas Chaos Story took it in, we can do anything we want to create zombies, activate a Sentinel artifact, and then when the Sentinel artifact's done, it just looks like notes happen, like just a disaster's happened. Like if you look at Voyage Despair, it happened on Titanic, but nobody knows about the zombies besides the ones that were there. I just got here. What are we saying thank you, Blundell, for? So Treyarch posted a tweet. It's in the description, but I can also put the image up here. I know it's not centered. Jason Blundell's left Treyarch is why we are, and this is official. This is from the Treyarch official Twitter. So yeah, essentially he's left Treyarch, which is why we are thanking him. Because let's put it this way, Jason Blundell has elevated the zombies community a ton. BO2, many regard as the best zombies game. I think they're competitive players. Whenever you look at it at a casual standpoint, so the casual player base or the competitive casual player base, so those that like whimsical challenges like 2-box challenges and things like that, BO3 is the biggest shout there. If you give everyone like one vote, of course the casual player base will outnumber the competitive base about 1 to probably about 40. So BO3 was a big innovation for the community. So yeah, Jason Blundell of course did a lot of innovation. Now you can see that I feel like Craig Houston has done a lot of innovation in his story writing as well. So Craig Houston's still there. He can story write, and I assume he was still there. And he can do a lot as well. Now the question is, do you just go with Craig Houston as a lead? He can lead. We saw him at least do good promotion, but we've never seen him as a leader. I don't think yet. Have we? No. I've never seen him lead a team. No one's seen Jason Blundell lead a team, but you can see like the passion behind Jason Blundell from the Zombies team. Of course, the the content creators who have gone over to Treyarch know Craig Houston better than anybody else, and Jason Blundell more than anyone else. So they'll probably have a better knowing. I've seen people talk about Craig taking over or Lee Ross taking over or a team of them both. I don't really want to talk about that here. Lee Ross is a great innovator as well with IW Zombies. It makes sense if Lee Ross was going to be teamed up with Craig Houston, because if the transition period was known from middle of BO4, that is when Lee Ross came in. It gives him time to get to know the team, gives him time to flesh out the story of Craig Houston I want to make, and go from there. My personal opinion, I want to see the chaos story continue. However, the issue at the minute is that Jason Blundell was the co-writer of that story, and I believe if Jason Blundell was passionate about the product, he'd still be there, but he could still be passionate and just made the decision that, hey Craig, I know you wrote this story, I want you to continue it, but I need to do my own creativeness somewhere else as well. Because, like I said to you all, Zombies is very restricting for storylines. Even though Kratos got a lot of innovations, there's still restrictions around that product. Now, no doubt that the Treyarch team itself are really good. Everyone might like to shit on BO4. I love BO4. It's not my favourite Zombies game, but it's still my most played Zombies game. It is my most played Zombies game. People gotta remember though that this Zombies team is a team that created BO3, BO2, BO1, and some of them are still there from World at War. You gotta remember that. Like, you can have a go at the Treyarch team as much as you want, but then you can praise Keener and all that when it was the same team. Now, I understand that I've spoken to a lot of competitive players, and they're like, they don't like how the game mode has gone more from surviving as long as possible to now finding an Easter egg and solving solutions, because it's not zombies. But the thing is, sometimes in companies, and I will say WWE for a fact, actually, I don't know how many people are WWE fans right now. yesterday Goldberg, who's a 53-year-old man, really big name, wrestler in the noughties and the 90s, I believe. Yeah. Noughties and 90s. I don't think he's ever wrestled any other era. He beat a new upcoming star called Bray Wyatt, and now Bray Wyatt is probably the best gimmicked wrestler, so it's really popular. But he's not a big draw to the casual audience, so he essentially got beat by Goldberg. A lot of wrestling fans really upset about it, but the casual fans are happy about it, and there's more casual fans than hardcore fans. The hardcore fans will be on Twitter, but the casual fans won't be, and talking about it, openly. This is kind of how I feel with zombies. Don't get me started on Goldberg Green. This is how I feel about zombies right now. The hardcore community, who was way back in the time, love the competitive element of surviving, against ice rounds, speedrunning, all that. And then they just hate the Easter eggs because it's not zombies, is what they say. And I'm like, but how is it? It's become zombies now. And there's no argument essentially to say that it's not zombies. It's just one of those, like, hardcore things people say. Like, it happens in every audience. There's people that go, this isn't wrestling, for wrestling and all that, and things like that. But the thing is, you can dislike Easter eggs, but it brought in so many casual players where maybe the zombies community wouldn't even exist right now if the Easter eggs weren't brought in. So you got to remember, Jason Blundell has innovated and helped the community a lot. Maybe the Easter eggs idea wasn't even his idea. It could have been Craig Houston's. We don't know, but someone in that Treyarch team has made one of the greatest innovations. Now, Lee Ross, I believe, wanted to work under Jason Blundell. I feel like there's... I'm not going to talk about wrestling for too much, I'm afraid, in this. So I'm just going to leave it there for now for the wrestling. Because I wanted to make my analogy and that's it. But let's talk about Lee Ross and Cameron Dayton. Cameron Dayton was 100%, a story writer. He can write stories for whatever. He's released a few books which are pretty good. I can't remember the names of them. But I remember I've read a few chapters of them. I haven't been able to read it all because I'm not a massive reader. But he has created like some of his own books. He's a screenwriter, of course. He's done some movies. Let's see. Effa Wall, for example. Sorry, Effa Walker. Why did you say Effa Wall? Effa Walker, Fantastic Worlds are some of his books. I think it was Effa Walker that I've read some pages from because they are just... Yeah. Yeah, just there. He's a great writer. He could write for anything. I feel like Lee Ross, however, I don't think he's done any other work outside of game development. Now, 100% Lee Ross, I believe, wanted to be like Jason Blundell's... trying to think. Like, he wants to follow the Zombies storyline. He wants to be in the Zombies team, essentially. And I feel that passion from him all the time. Whenever he's talking and all that, I always feel that passion. Now, Lee Ross can work really well as a lead. So can Craig Houston. But everyone's just tweeting at Lee Ross. Why? Please don't. Of course, Lee Ross would have known a lot beforehand. To be fair, what's happening with Lee Ross? See, Lee Ross has just been quiet. I'm just going to see what Lee Ross has been doing on Twitter, because I'm not seeing a lot. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot from Lee Ross right now. But anyways, the good thing if Lee Ross does become a developer within even just the Zombies team itself, Lee Ross doesn't need to be the lead. I'll say that now. Lee Ross can be just a developer there who maybe is the face, a bit like how David Von Haar. What's his? Is it David Von Haar? Sorry, I've got this wrong, haven't I? It's not David. Who is it? It is David Von Haar. I got really confused. I don't know why. Vonderhaar didn't used to be and he still isn't actually, the community manager for Treyarch. Everyone thinks he's the community manager at Treyarch. He was more of just a face. Here we go, let me get his full... Here we go, so he's the game design... He's the game designer director for World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4. He is not the community manager. He is just that role, but many people see him as like an unofficial community manager. So what you could do essentially with Lee Ross is, hey, he's not the lead, but he can be like an unofficial community director, because Lee Ross has a Twitter. He's really good at it as well. And he's also very passionate. So yeah, imagine Cam writing a Mass Effect game. I've never played Mass Effect. I know he's at BioWare though. I don't know what else there is to say. Like, there's not much to say about Jason Blundell, especially from an outside point of view, except that Jason Blundell will be working on many games to come. I'm sure that his creative genius will come out in him, and he'll do a magnificent job wherever he does. I look ginger in this lighting. I just realised. It's the light. I'm actually not ginger. But yeah, I don't know what much else there is to say. If you don't believe I enjoy the Chaos story, by the way, Voyage Despair, 9, Dead of the Night, and Ancient Evil just off camera there. So yeah, I enjoy it, and I've got like loads of AFA things behind you. But I remember back in so I played BO1 Zombies first. That was my first ever Zombies. Didn't enjoy it that much, I'll be honest. Played Kino only. And then I got DLC 4 because I wanted to give it another chance. Zombies. And I just hopped on to Rooks. That's why Rooks is my favourite map, by the way. Rooks was the map that got me hooked to Zombies. On BO1. And then BO2 was like the first time I went, I'm loving this Zombies game. I literally bought the DLC. I bought the season pass literally like 5 hours maybe into Transit. And yeah, I enjoy Transit. Get over it. And Town and Farm. So then when BO3 happened, and this was, I didn't like Mob of the Dead Oranges. I'll put it out there. I don't like them. I prefer Mob of the Dead a bit more nowadays, I'd say. But BO3 happened, and I bought the season pass straight away again. And I loved Zombies again, you know. I would say BO3 was definitely the time where I was like, I'm going to literally spend more time on Zombies than multiplayer. BO3 was that turning point, and that's why I've got a Zombies channel now, is BO3, because of Jason Blundell leading it as well. That's how passionate I am about Zombies, you know. I've only got Zombies on the content. I've released a Zombies video literally 5 hours ago, which, well, some Zombies members aren't even posting anything anymore, you know. I'm still here, essentially. Hey, Exokyrie? I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. But thank you, Jason. I just hope that I'm in a place right now where, and I know this is going to sound somewhat pathetic, I'm in a place, like, I've got really passionate about the Treyarch team itself. I know Treyarch can develop maps without Jason Blundell. Well, we've seen that before with Jim Slinsky in charge, and I mean, the Treyarch team come up with a lot of the ideas that come into the game, and then Jason Blundell's like the direction. So like, this map's gonna be this. It's gonna be based on this part of our story here. So yeah, I'm just I'm at a place where I'm like, if Jason Blundell's left and Chaos Story's cancelled now, I want to know where it'd have led to. And I hope that Activision, if it's still working for Activision, I'm pretty sure they'll be fine for it. But if they do not continue Chaos Story, if they just made a bunch of comic books to go, this is what would have happened. And I felt the same way with IW Zombies as well. With Lee Ross. I don't know how good Lee Ross would be with a comic style writing. I know he did a cartoon story, but comic book writing's a bit different to writing for a map. But I would love to see IW Zombies in a comic and Chaos Stories in a comic just to tell us what would have happened if it's cancelled. Which I'm in a position to believe that because James Blundell was half the writing team for that whole story. But please don't at Lee Ross with memes. I'm seeing a lot of people doing it and eyes like, hey, you taking over? If I'll tell you what, Lee Ross isn't just going to be disrespectful and go, hey, I'm taking over. Lee Ross follows me, I didn't know that. But yeah, please everyone just respect Jason Blundell. Even if you don't like his maps, like for example, I don't like Mobile Dead Origins, but I love VO3, VO4. Just remember that this guy was the person who pretty much made zombies be known to a wider audience, essentially. For example, ZDC would have never happened without... I can say this now, ZDC wouldn't have happened without the success of BO3. E4C would have not been successful, and I don't know if No would have continued too much further into the story if BO3 wasn't successful as it was. E4C 2 would have probably not happened as well if BO3 wasn't successful as it was. And I can tell you 100% for sure, the upcoming Chai event C4C 2 would have probably not happened without BO3. Now, I can 100% say that with certainty, and C4C probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for BO3 being successful as it was. Because I can tell you all now, if you go to many of them people and you just ask them which game got you into content creation, really passionate about zombies, BO3. Who was the lead? Jason Blundell. Like I said, Jason Blundell wasn't the only man. Just because Jason Blundell's left doesn't mean everything's going to crumble and crash and burn. Craig Houston's there still, and the whole Treyarch team is probably still there still. I do feel like a lot of people say they should have a year break to come up with more ideas, but the thing is that the Treyarch team always has 2 or 3 year breaks every time. Now, of course, they did have a break each year in Modern Warfare, but Treyarch still had 2 years to work on the idea. Are you worried if COD 2020 will have zombies? I'm sure they'll still have zombies. I'm more in a place where Chaos Story is probably cancelled now because Jason Blundell's left. Because he was half the writing team. And that story I'm really passionate about, essentially. I've said this since Asian Evil ended. I was grasped for more, unlike Origins, unlike Revelations, and unlike Moon. When Moon happened, I'm like, okay, okay. I just continued playing the map. Origins, it was like, so it was all just a dream? But I didn't ask more questions. I just literally went, oh, it's all just a dream. And then I just lived with that, essentially. And then Shadows of Evil happened, and then like, okay. And then I saw the giant and went, oh, maybe it wasn't just a dream then. Like, I wasn't left waiting, essentially. And then Revelations happened and went, I like this ending. I liked Revelations ending. And then it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't the ending then for the story. And then Tag to Certain has to be the ending. I'm not begging for more information, you know, the F story. Chaos, it was like Ancient Evil. I'm like, I had a feeling in my gut where I'm like, I would need more now. I need more information. And then the next day I went to sleep, woke up, and I'm like, I need more right now. I think I posted a tweet out, you can look this up, where I went, so can I have more Chaos stuff now? I think Chaos is another thing of like the hardcore community loves. Wrong. Loads of hardcore community. Well, hardcore community just don't like. I'll put it this way. BO3 isn't liked by the hardcore community, and it's not liked by the casual community, but it's liked by the casual competitive community, which is the smallest of them all. Well, actually, it might be just slightly bigger than the hardcore community. Meanwhile, there's story lovers as well. That's another category. Story lovers like the Chaos story as well, because it's actually a really good story. But the thing is, I see people go, there's not enough story about this. I'm like, you just need to read more into the information, the quotes, the lines, things like that. If you look at a good source for this, actually, is the Chaos Story Treyarch, Chaos Story Code Wikia page. That shows you all the information compiled into one thing, and it's better than any video I've seen. I hope someone does a video on that. I don't know who edited that up, but it's got all information there, and it's a really good source for seeing all the Chaos story. So it's really good, essentially. So is the video still playing? I don't know. Oh yeah. So this is this video, by the way, that's playing. It's not me actually playing, if you're wondering what happens. I'm just in a state where I could have done a video on this, but I feel like doing a video means that I'm not giving you my pure feelings and emotions. Whereas a stream, I'm giving you my pure right now feeling and emotions. See, I'm not. If I was really devastated, I'd be crying. But I'm not. I'm more trying to comprehend the information. I doubt anyone's watching this. Like, people at Treyarch knows what's going on. Lee Russell knows what's going on, and Jason Blundell himself will know what's going on. This is all just speculation. I think my biggest takeaway is that I don't think Chaos is happening. But I do believe that Lee Ross and Craig Houston can make a great story. This is one thing I like the IW Zombies overall story. I just don't think it was fully told well. And I don't think it was bad writing. I think it's just first time trying to develop a map of story, essentially, for the IW team. For Zombies as well. Of course, they've done Extinction. Of course, they've done their own campaigns. But Zombies is a new kettle of fish. And where I think you get Lee Ross in charge, and then Craig Houston, the writing team, the track team behind him, who have done this for years and years, they can do something amazing. But I'm just in a place where I'm like, it's a place of uncertainty. Let's put it that way. And I don't feel like you can be upset about the uncertainty. But it's right now. Of course, my channel right now is more of, hey, BO5 Zombies wishlist and all this. When the fact that Zombies may not exist, because another thing that could happen is that they decide not to do Zombies anymore, and instead work on a new secondary game mode, which could be possible, and I believe that'll negate all this wanting to try something new out, and get a refresh essentially. So of course they can always work on Zombies again at another point of time, essentially. But yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. I'm gonna quickly see if anyone is posting something on the Treyarch page. Thanks. This is from Dame and That Game, who recently came back from the Zombies community. Thanks, Jason. Honestly, thank you. Many hours of our lives been spent reviewing your team's creation. Through good and bad, thick and thin, Zombies were that one thing that's always been there for us. Then Turbo, another popular content creator. Wow, Jason brought the Zombies mode to a whole new level, and I will always remember him as a huge inspiration for my channel.
How is this possible?
Some people being mean. Loads of thank you Jasons. Like, I'm literally looking at a screen which was all thank you Jasons. Someone posted an image of Blood of the Dead song. Fox's Grandpa appreciated what you created. Fox Grandpa, of course, knowing the multiplayer Call of Duty community. People been a bit disrespectful by adding Lee Ross. Like I've said, it's all about... It's not about going, oh, where's his replacement? It's all about thinking ahead and then thinking about what Blundell's done in the past. MC Sports Hawk saying thank you for everything. MC Sports Hawk, really, I can speak about this, I believe, has a lot to thank Jason Blundell for, because if you think about MC Sports Hawk, he worked on ZWC, and he got a taste of esports in him. Of course, ZWC has done 2 versions of that event, and I'm a part of that team. And then they created another esports / production group called A2Z Esports. And then, we've done the Console and Kick tournament, which is for Madden. I'm working on other stuff as we speak right now, which I cannot tell you, but MC Sports Hawk's got a lot to be grateful for BO3's success, essentially, because without BO3, MC Sports Hawk wouldn't have been able to do ZWC, wouldn't have been able to do ZWC 2, wouldn't have been able to do ZWL, which is my baby, which I worked a hell of a lot on, my product, essentially. And then he wouldn't have been able to do A2Z Esports, and he wouldn't have been able to do work with A2Z Esports right now, and whatever he's got going on right now. Rip Zombies. I won't say that. If you think Jason Blundell leaving means that Zombies is officially over party, then that's like neglecting all of the Treyarch developers that are there, essentially made the maps. Jason Blundell did do the story, and he gave the direction of each map, but he's not the person who is fully developing everything that's going on within the map. So yeah. Mr. JD here. Zombies will never be the same value. Jason, thank you eternally for all the work you've done. He said, wow, thanks. Hearts in the replies for Jason. Thank you so much for an amazing Zombies experience over the years. There's just loads of things here. The person that's always a dick has said that thing again. Yeah, it's all loads of hearts. Let's be fair, you can see how love Jason Blundell. The story's all I care for. What I tell you, Velvia, is the Chaos story, of course, is the best example. The Chaos story was written by 2 people, Jason Blundell and Craig Houston. The Aether story was written by Craig Houston, I believe, from World at War to be about Mob of the Dead, would say, alongside Jimmy Zielinski between World at War and up to Buried, and then from Mob of the Dead, so there's a bit of a crossover. Mob of the Dead onwards was also Jason Blundell. You still got one half of the writing team there, and I'm pretty sure that you can, find another perfect match with Craig Houston. Like I've said, there's always not going to be an end, essentially. There's going to be the same developers behind it who can make the game maps, and then it's just about knowing essentially what happens with the face, essentially, I guess. Like that means Seth Rollins coming out. Can't remember what it says on this. Yeah, no way. So I'm just watching all the stuff. TZ, thank you for giving Zombies and the community so much. Jason, good luck on all your future endeavours. Jason Blundell right now. Actually, if you care more about the... Is Lee Ross taking over? All I'm going to say about... Because I don't want to talk about his replacement, because I feel like it's disrespectful news. his replacement would have been decided all the way back, I would say, at the end of BO4, or maybe just right at the end of the season of BO4. I believe, or whenever they started development of BO5, because that could be mid BO4. Jason Blundell might have gone. I'm gonna be leaving because I want to do more stories. He's a really Jason Blundell's really talented. I'm not gonna lie when I say this. I would say he's wasting the zombies community. That's not this. Zombies is restrictive, very restrictive on your story and your essentially what you can do. Of course, you always got to have a zombie to tell your story. You always got to have zombies there. An outlet of that was, of course, the comic book. For example, any of the videos that you can make, teasers, even though it's got zombies in them still, it's got a bit less, break essentially. Jason can do stories, and Chaos Story is a perfect example, which isn't zombies. Now, yes, zombies were in the Chaos Story, but you can read through the whole thing and go, wow, there's actually a lot of non-zombies related stuff in this story. Jason Blundell's very talented, and I feel like he's still working for Activision, working on a new IP, and he's going to be brilliant at it, even though it's not going to be zombies. Now, is Leros going to take over? To me, I feel like he might be a developer, but act a bit like David Vonderhaar, where he'll be like an unofficial game community manager, essentially, or be a project director for zombies. But I don't. Jason, if it was decided midway through the season, they might have gone. So who do you want as a replacement? They might have gone, Lee Ross, do you want to work for Treyarch? Gives him time to get to know the team, gets to know how they work, essentially like that, so on and so forth. Will Jason ever come back? To zombies? No. As a developer, for a different studio or lead of a different studio, then yeah, 100%. Because that was will Jason ever come back can be taken two ways. Jason, it will be creating. I would assume Jason will be creating another story for something else. Because if he just goes now, I feel like that's just a waste in the game community. Now, he might be going through some of his own issues. I'm not going to suggest that he is. Maybe just wants to take some time off because, of course, you've been working hard for 10 years. You would want some time off now, wouldn't you? I mean, I would if I was in his place. But he's so passionate about games, and I believe he can create a new IP for Activision, and Activision are looking at new IPs right now. If I was someone at Activision, I'd go, Jason Blundell can create a new IP easily, because he is a visionary of games, essentially. He could create a story about freaking, I don't know, baked beans. I'm not saying that because I've got a fridge magnet of baked beans, and I bet he can get like a few million people invested in the story. Pretty sure he's working on the IP, which is replacing Destiny. Possible. We haven't seen him work on futuristic stuff. I thought we might see him do something more related to. I mean, actually, if he's replacing Destiny and he's got a raid function, all that, I guess the Easter egg function can technically be his insight to that. Because you got to remember, I'll say this now actually, for Easter eggs, hey Faraz, how you doing? For Easter eggs, you are restricted to whatever you can do on a map with the zombies functions. Where I believe if you didn't have that restrictiveness, and maybe there's like a puzzle on the map which you got to solve. For example, there was a Destiny 2 function puzzle where you had a map essentially, and to put the map together, you had to look at these little icons. So there'll be one big icon in the middle, and then icons around it, and you go like match them all up so like all the icons fit together. It's hard to explain, I know. So what does Jason leaving do to zombies? Jason leaving essentially means that you lose half of the main Ryan team. He's not the only writer, of course. You lose one half of the main Ryan team, and you'll lose the vision on the maps. Because, of course, if you're half the Ryan team, you go, right, so in Alcatraz, we do this, and that, and that. So you lose that, essentially. Does Zombie take a big L? Is it better for him to leave so he can get some fresher? So does Zombie take a big L is the first question in that, because that's kind of a two question thing. Does Zombies take Miguel? No. Well, I guess it takes a bit of a loss. It takes a massive loss, actually. Jason Blundell's, of course, a visionary. But that doesn't mean, because you've taken a loss in the community, that someone can take over. I'll say this now. Jason Blundell is big shoes to fill. No one will fill them shoes. Jason Blundell, like I said, was wasting the Zombies community. He can work on a new IP. He's very talented at what he does. He can create a whole new universe, essentially, just like that. He's very smart, and that's why Zombies succeed in BO3. So them shoes are going to be hard to fill, of course. But you still have the Treyarch development team that created the GKs, the DEs, the Shadows of Evil. You know, that team's still there. For him, I think it is better for him to leave. Not in a negative way, but in a more of... I feel like the Zombies community is letting like a dove out, essentially. Like, it's going to fly out to the wild and create something very successful. Jason Blundell, 100% again, could make a new IP. Be really... He's very talented. I'm just going to say, he's very talented. I don't know what else I can say about Jason Blundell. Favourite memory of Jason Blundell? When Milo and Jason Blundell did an interview under a freaking London train bridge. That was one of my favourite memories. Also, when he came out for BO4. But yeah, BT here we go. This is BT just tweeted out. BT is Radostin27's editor, who said this. Jason obviously did wonders for Zombies, but is it too early to ask if the pigeon to Lee Ross? I'm hoping he's asking that to the community, like, why are you all spamming Lee Ross? Chill, let the news settle. But yeah. I feel like in my mind, it doesn't matter who takes the lead, because I feel like whoever takes the lead will be the best man for the job. That's all I can say. And I don't know how Lee Ross will feel right now, just getting spammed, like, messages like, oh, take over, take over, take over. But yeah, that video with Milo is amazing. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah. I'm sure that Jason Blundell, I'm sure Jason Blundell will be okay. I'm fine. Do you think Blundell hasn't seen or worked on COD 2020? So, I'm going to talk this from experience when there's been a change in hands at a different studio that I cannot mention the name of. But I know of a director change that's happened within a game studio, mainly because I helped test the game during that time, and I can't say what it is because it's not news that happened, and I kind of don't want to share that information. But this was between two games, by the way, I can say that much. Either they keep a helping hand. This is what happened here. They keep a helping hand and they go, I'll be leaving at this day, but I'm going to be helping this guy, get to know you all, so on and so forth. Of course, I was only a playtester, so it didn't matter that much, with our connection. But essentially, it's more of a... He's going to help us, give me a helping hand, help me learn all of you, let you all, get used to me and things like that. And so on and so forth. So that's one change. And another change is we're going to replace you, essentially. And you've got this amount until this contract runs out. So you're going to hold you hostage, essentially. Great thing about that, like, now is, like, that's how WWE's working, essentially. Because of going back to the wrestling talk, AEW is a new prominent wrestling promotion in America. And they're like, oh, we were going to let you go, but now it's going to keep your contract hostage, essentially. So you can't work for them. Do you think that people will hate Lee Ross if he takes Jason's spots? No, I do not. there'll be some people actually. There'll be some people, but I feel like if you logically think about this, Jason Blundell, godsend for the zombies community. Jason Blundell had bigger shoes than the zombies community needed. Jason Blundell, let's say this. For the zombies game, you need like an 80% skill level. Jason Blundell was about 95. You know, he brought loads of innovations, but he was very restrictive, so yeah. Rapid fire questions, I think. Oh, that was the video. What does Jason Blundell leave from any big zombie YouTubers such as Noah J, Mr. Alec, and Milo? Nothing. Like, there's still... we don't know. Could be a different answer, actually, to that. Of course, they have the connection to Blundell, but they only see Blundell when they do interviews or go to events, things like that. But that's just essentially like... if you look at World War II and IW, whenever they went to events, mainly World War II, they just went to events, met with the developers and things like that. All it'll mean is that they're meeting a different lead, because I'm pretty sure there'll be still the Treyarch dev team there. Now, if zombies were to... Let's put it this way, actually. It could be somewhat better for the zombies YouTubers, because what that means is... if Lee Ross takes over, he has more of a social media presence, which means that he's got more ways of being influenced, essentially, over Jason Blundell, who isn't as active on social media, but we'll hear a few mingles of things. But that'll be just as much, essentially. There's not much more that'll happen just because Jason Blundell's left. Let's try to see if anyone else... I think the story's starting to cool down now on Twitter, so there's no new coming out. But yeah. I feel like right now we're just in a place where, thank you, Jason Blundell's the only thing I can say now. I don't think there's not much I can add. I mean, to be fair, I've got to thank Jason Blundell that you're watching right now. Because I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for BO3. I wouldn't be... Your favourite map directed by Jason? Ancient Evil. Yeah, Ancient Evil. Which is the latest map. To be fair, it's not the most latest map, but it's one of the late maps. Let's go through all Jason Blundell's maps. So Doreeks was his first map. Maybe he could tell us the unsolved Easter eggs in BO4. No, he won't. That's everyone needs to understand Easter eggs. I will say this now. Actually, this is something which I see in the zombies community a lot. Easter eggs aren't supposed to be found just like that. There's Easter eggs in games like Mario from 1980s that's still being found. That's how they're supposed to be. Easter eggs aren't supposed to be like found straight away. The main quests kind of are directed that way because it's the main story, but unsolved like side Easter eggs are meant to be hidden until you just come across them. Like maybe in like 10 years time I'm playing BO3 and I'm like, oh, what happens if I do this? And I'm like, oh, whoa, this is new. Do you think that if BO4 is successful as BO3, Jason will still be at Treyarch? No. I feel like this is a decision which might be made around Ancient Evil. And I say this because Craig Hughes started taking more of the publicity role. And I feel like this is Jason Blundell going to Craig like, hey, I'm going to be leaving next year. And I want you to, you know, to fly, like letting Dove go, letting Craig Houston, you know, have more of practice with that kind of precision. And I feel like that was a decision around then. And of course, he would just see now his contract at Treyarch whilst working with Activision. And it was probably still there for BO5 or whatever the next Zombies game is. But I feel like that was when the decision was made around Ancient Evil. I'll say that Kale's story, I'm not too sure if he'll continue. That's kind of a we don't know yet, essentially. So let's just go back to the map thing. So if we go to Doris, do you feel like Jason Blundell deserves a better recognition than just a goodbye letter from Treyarch? Well, he only got a goodbye letter by Treyarch. Because that's him saying goodbye. That tweet is him saying goodbye. It says at the bottom, like if you look at the bottom here, that's Jason Blundell saying that. I'm pretty sure they've done something for him, Treyarch. And they might make reference to him in the next game. I'm pretty sure there'll be some sort of some zombies creators like trying to come up with something now, you know, as a tribute to him. What else can we talk about? Let's go through the maps quickly. So Doris, I like the map. Great innovation from Shino Numa. Pack Punch was added. Teleporters was added for the first time, which is fast travel. Side Easter eggs were added the first time. And then technically main Easter eggs was added, because I'm not counting Ascension as the first main Easter egg. Then during World at War, they made plans for a Vita map, a Call of the Dead map essentially, and so on and so forth. So yeah, essentially helped somewhat develop BO1 maps, but he wasn't the BO1 lead. Takes over getting Mob of the Dead. I don't really like Mob of the Dead, but I'd be lying if I don't talk about the innovations, the afterlife system. I believe this was when we got a load more new map trap types, right? The acid trap was definitely new. The plain like spinny things were new in the warden's office. The sentry turret one from the lighthouse take from Kena, so that's not new. But there was a side Easter egg with that where it shot RPGs. Origins, of course, another great innovations. First time we had force wonder weapons, elemental wonder weapons. First time we had like a shovel type mechanic. Do you know, like a, I don't know what to call that. What would that be called? Like not digging mechanic, but like a side activation mechanic, I guess. I don't know what that'd be called. There'll be a dev term for it, but I don't know what it's called. And of course, you've got, you know, so you can go through all the innovation origins, how the power system works, so on and so forth. Shadows of Evil comes with its own innovations. We saw the Fumigate system, which is a shovel system essentially, just notched up a little bit with like a charge rate thing of the things. Gobble Gums, which, like them or not, were innovative. Giant kind of like went back a bit to old style maps, which I get. DE brings back a load of innovations again, especially with Easter eggs, how they're done. Then Zep was the first one, war mechanics. GK, just transport systems central. Jesus Christ, the dragons, how they worked, the so on and so forth. Revelations was Revelation. I don't think Revelation had a lot of innovations, and it was just more of a combination of all the innovations he's done with Revelations. Then BO4 came along, and then those innovations were more the whole game wide, how the perks work, how the special system worked, and so on and so forth. New people think that every move Trap makes with BO5 always needs to hit out of the park. I don't agree. They won't always hit out of the park. The main reference is that fired moment. You don't need to bring that up for us. Do they think that BO5 will be the last Black Ops after they'll change? After that, they'll change the name. It might not be called Black Ops 5. I don't think. I think like we might have a Black Ops next game. I'm using Black Ops 5 as a term because that's the term that most people will use. If I just put up a video that said BO wishlist, I'll probably think Black Ops 1. I would say that'll be a new. I would say there's going to be a new Black Ops game, and then maybe they'll go back to we're going to reboot World at War, and then do a World at War 2, and so on and so forth. Reboot. Well, actually, let me put it this way: World at War is still in the same universe as Black Ops. So if you're rebooting the Black Ops series, you need to start World at War. Just putting that out there. It's done the same timeline as World at War. So I think they're going to reboot World at War at some point, because I feel like people are hungry for World War sort of thing. Might call it Black Ops like Modern Warfare, yeah, exactly. I don't know much else to talk about. Maybe we should, well, we'll keep continuing to, till we get the cutscene in this video. We're close to the end anyway. But yeah, I can't think of much else to talk about. I feel like I've gone over everything in this hour. I've answered some of your questions. Of course, I'm not the best person to answer these questions anyway. But yeah, if you haven't stuck around my channel or haven't watched yet, I do have a Black Ops 5 Zombies wishlist series. We've gone... Essentially, that series has come out 2 Fridays now. I'm just trying to aim to get them out as fast as possible, so there's no set time. But it goes so far in depth to the perk system. That's a 10-minute video. And then the Gobblegum versus Elixir argument, which is another 10-minute video. So we talk about the MTX consumable system and so on and so forth, like that kind of deal. And then I've got another series with Steinman Versus, which I'm doing with Exoe. Do you think that Zombies will be gone in the near future and it'll be just multiplayer battle royale storyline? Zombies will go at some point. Everyone's going to come to terms with that. They can't continue to do Zombies. You will have multiplayer there. Battle Royale slowly dying out. Battle Royale won't be there. But there'll be a year, I think, where there'll be multiplayer Battle Royale campaign. But then actually, I don't think... I think there'll be multiplayer Battle Royale campaign and then maybe another game mode, which is like Extinction, you know, like that Zombies, but not Zombies, essentially. Like a survival game mode. If you were to say with him, what questions would you ask? I don't think there's many questions you can ask Jason Blundell than... I wouldn't talk about Jason Blundell with Zombies. I feel like I'm more in the talk about with him with development-wise. I talked to him about what has his experience been like as a developer, what was his favourite time as a developer. I'd be more talking about his history over Zombies, essentially, because I feel like if you just wanted to talk Zombies about with him, like I could talk for hours and hours about him about Zombies, but I feel like he would like the pace and change of just people asking him about him, because I feel like I'm not speaking for Jason, but I feel like Jason might feel like people talk to him about Zombies and only Zombies, and people only care about Zombies. I don't feel like loads of people think... I don't believe he might think that people care for him about him, essentially. When Jason Blundell, you can just talk about him and it'd be, you know, good to talk about him. Anyways, we've got the cutscene, I just realised. And I've got the fire thing happening because broke Easter egg. Well, broke cutscene. I think it just happens if you stand on Perseus when he dies. But yeah. That blaze phase glitch. Oh, is it some crouching? Ah, you know what? That's smart. That is what it is, yeah. It's not a glitch. It's good to know what it actually is though now, because I've been trying to come up with what it is. It is blaze phase. It 100% is. Anyways, guys, I've been rambling for an hour and on. I don't think there's much else I can talk about. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end off the video when this cutscene ends. I'd like to thank you all for coming. Please don't at Lee Ross. Please don't say anything mean to Jason Blundell, because you'll be just not earning anything from that, essentially. Don't think you're funny or anything like that. Anyways, guys, I've been Noobey, and I'll see you all next time. Gonna let this cutscene play out because I might as well. Bye.